Hello, welcome again to Pykidz, a kid developer initiative. Our coverage till now has been why we program in Python. We looked at installation of Python. We looked at how to play with the REPL. Then looked at data types, the different kinds of data types, the basic data types. And then we looked at how to write code in files instead of the REPL and then create programs with user interaction. So remember, you do, you learn, I do, I learn. So if you want to learn Python or any programming language, it's best to actually work with it. Try out the examples. When you're watching a video, try it out with me when you're watching the video. So that is the best way to learn a programming language, including Python. The next set of videos, we are going to cover composite data types. I think I had mentioned about composite data types very briefly in the data types sessions. So this is about, instead of individual data pieces, this is about a collection of data, right? So in this first set of videos, we will cover lists. Now, when I say collection of data, it means like say friends, right? You notice the plural, right? The S in it. So you generally will have 2 plus friends, right? I mean, all of you would have 2 more than 2 friends. So you could have a list of friends, and that's what lists is. And then you could also have a list of tuples are another kind of collection. Collections are also called as data structures. That is a programming speak for it, a developer's language for it. And then we will cover maps or dicts in the context of Python. These are collections, but they are collections of pairs with, that is, 2 values, a key and which that points to a value. You have seen dictionaries, right? So dictionaries have a word key and their explanation is the values. Similarly, you will have a key which you can use to look up, and then you will have values. And last set we would look at sets. These are the mathematical concept of set. I mean, they represent the same thing. I don't know whether you have learned sets in your school in maths, but don't worry, when we cover it, you will understand what it means to. Now, right now, we are not going to look at all of them. We are going to look at lists, and this particular video will be just the first piece. There are 3 more videos in lists itself, which you will see subsequently. Okay, before we start with lists, let us look at comparison operators. I'll briefly touch upon them because they become important as we go further. We looked at some operators already. We looked at arithmetic operators. Now we want to cover comparison operators. They are slightly different. Comparison operators is by the name, as you see in the name, is about comparing data, right? You can compare data literals, you can compare variables, and when you compare them, they will return either a true or false, a boolean value, right? So similar to math, if you look at, say, I want to compare whether 2 things are equal, right? Or I want to compare 2 things are, one is greater than the other or lesser than the other. So there are different kinds of symbols. I will start showing you them. Let me open the terminal. I'm going to use, so this is to ensure that I'm on the right version of Python. I'm going to use something called PTPython this time. You will see what that means. Okay, so in Python, equal to, this is a maths equal to, we cannot use this because this is used to assign things, right? X is equal to 1. This is assignment. So you cannot use this. So instead, you will have to use a double equal to for comparison, right? So now if I do this, x value has been assigned to 1, whether it's equal to 2 or not. It's false, it's not equal to 2, right? So this is double equal to, and then you have not equal, and that is shown by this symbol, right? So now this exclamation is used as not in many languages. Python uses it only in the case of operators. So this is not equal to, right? So I can say x is not equal to 2 and it will say true. Obviously it's not equal. And there are other operators like greater than, less than, and all that. So I'll show you a few examples of each of these and you'll understand it better. I'll show you examples by with literals first. So 2 equal to 2 obviously is true. 2 not equal to 3, which is also true. 2, now if I say 2 greater than or equal to 3, greater than or equal to, right? So that's a, this is false, obviously it's not. But if I say 2 less than or equal to 3, it is true. And similarly 2 less than 3, true. 2 greater than 3 is false, and then 2 equal to 3 is again false. So this works for even variables. A equal to 33, b equal to, see you can see some completion happening. This is the advantage of PT Python. It tries to give you whatever you saw on the editor. It tries to give you some of those features for the terminal itself, the REPL itself. So that's why I'm using this. You can stick with Python. I'm just using it because it's easier for you to follow if you see this. A greater than B, what do you think? Is it? Yes, it is. So it will be true. A, if I say is not equal to B, which is also true. Yeah. If I say A equal to B, you double equal to, right? 2 equals you have to use here. That's false. It's not, right? 33 is not equal to 22. Now, it's not just numbers. Even with other data types like string, it will work. This comparator operators work. So if I do A equal to A, this is the same string, so it is true. If I say not, is it not equal? It is the same string, so obviously it's false. Now, if I do this, what do you think is going to happen? This is true. Alone, suppose I try alone is greater than together, it is true because what is, it's less than, sorry, less than together. So what is happening is it's comparing in alphabetical order, right? So A is comes earlier than AB, so it is considered as lesser, comes before, right? In numbers also it comes before and this also comes before. Alone A comes before T and therefore it's doing alphabetical order and saying this is less than the other one. Now if I can obviously do this with other data types too, but I think you got the basics now. Now let us move on to our current topic, which is lists. Right? Lists are, I said, a collection of things. I mean, friends or list of things to do, list of fruits, list of vegetables, anything. Right? You can have a lot of lists. So let us start off with our friends of Tenali. Right? I'm going to start by defining Tenali's friends as a string. You know, all of us know strings. So if I do this, Kali, Gundappa, Sharda, Krishna. Now if I look at a type of this, See, it's sorry, type Nali friends str. Now this is class string. Now when you look at this string, you can figure out, can you tell me how many friends are there? You can take a guess, right? You can see Kali, Gundappa, Shada and Krishna. There are 4 friends. But Python cannot do that. Python is just treating it as one single string. It cannot separate them, right? But we actually need a collection of friends, which is now really a collection of strings or a list of strings. So let us define a list in Python. So I'm now going to actually show you Tenali friends. This is a new one. So I am going to, this is a syntax of a list. You start with a square bracket and you end it with a square bracket. Anything you put inside it become items. Now each item, these are strings, so I am defining a string with double quote. You can use a single quote, and then after that item is done, you put a comma. So first item, and then you say Gundappa. Now you define the second item, you put a comma, and then you define Sharda, comma, and let us say Krishna Devaraya, right? Now let us do type of, yeah, so now this is a list. You can see now when I do a type, I can see it's clearly a list. It's not a string anymore. Now that it's a list, do you think Python knows that it's working with a list? Or let's just try len of Tenali friends. Lo and behold, 4, right? You can see 4 here. So now Python is able to identify separate items and actually tell you. And len is a built-in function. Of the list of built-in functions we have seen, len is another one. You can add it to your list. So this len function gives you a length of any object, and in the case of lists support this function, and therefore it gives you the number of items in the list, right? You can actually try len with a string too. You should try it and see. Len Tenali. So if you try this, let us see what happens. You should try it. I'm not going to try it for you. Okay. So that is the definition of a list. That's pretty simple. Now that I have a list, I need to look at how I can access them. I think I jumped a bit. See, accessing elements of a list, right? What do you mean by accessing? I create a list, but I want to get the items from the list so that I can use it for something. Say, print it out, or maybe do some other thing with it. Say later on you might do some calculation, you might do some changes to it, whatever you want to do. You want to take individual items and manipulate them. So you have to be able to access them or get hold of them. Now a list has a specialty. List, you can access things by something called an index. It's supposed to be an indexed collection. So items are added one after the other and each are given a position. So the first item or first element is in the first position or the 0th index. Let me show you this with an example. So if you look at this, we have the old list, right? Kali, Gundappa, Sharda and Krishna Devaraya. Now that's the list, and the positions are on top. Kali is in the first position, Gundappa is in second position, Sharda is in third position, and Krishna Devaraya is in the fourth position. But the index actually does not start at 1, it starts with 0. So it starts with Kali is in the 0th index, Gundappa in the first index, Sharda in the second index, and Krishna Devaraya in third index. So remember that position is from your normal users parlance, we say, oh, this is the first position, second position, third position. But in Python's language, it is actually, positions are denoted by index, and index starts with the 0. So first position is actually 0th index. I will give you an example and then I think you will understand better. Okay, now let us see our, so this is our list. So in order to access, this is Tenali friends. Again, the way you access is you use again square brackets. So now if I try 1, let us see what happens. I am using index 1. So this actually is taking the second position value. So I said index starts with 0 and positions, you are known to use positions from 1 to 1 onwards, but indexes starts from 0. So if I want the first element, I actually should use index 0. So now I got Kali. Remember, first position is actually 0th index in a list. Okay, now I'll access. So I got the first one. If I want the second position, I use index 1. I got Gundappa. If I want the third position, I use index 2. And if I want the fourth position, index 3. What do you think happens if I try to do index 4? You remember, fourth index means fifth element and we don't have a fifth element. See the error, index error, list index out of range. So for, you can see this, you have in this list you have an index 0, 1, 2, 3. So index range is 0 to 3, but I am actually trying to use index 4. So it is clearly saying index out of range. Now this is how Python will complain, and you should keep this error in mind because you will encounter it whenever you do this mistake, and when you are learning you are bound to make this mistake. So whenever you have tried to access beyond the list, it will give you this error. Now we looked at accessing or getting the elements. You can use the same technique to actually update the list too, right? So let us try to do that. Now Tenali friends, and I have the third position is Krishna Devaraya, right? Now it's a pretty long name, so I want to just make it Krishna now. All I do is I am saying that particular indexed value should be assigned to this new value, say Krishna. So now in Tenali friends list, in the index of 3, which is position 4, index 3. So now onwards I'll just say index 3, I'm going to assign the value of Krishna. So before I do this, I'm just going to show you the list again. So in this third index where Krishna Devaraya is there now, I'm going to set it to Krishna. And then after that, if I try to look at the list, just changed. It's no longer Krishna Devaraya, it just says Krishna because I assigned a new value by using the same indexing technique. So I think we got a good sense of how we can create a list and index a list. What do you think happens when you do this? I'm not going to execute this. I want you to try. That is the only way you will learn, and you should be encouraged to discover these things. Don't be fearful. Python will, I mean, like you saw here, right? We saw some error here, but that's all. It throws an error and then it forgets about it, and you start working with it. So keep trying these things, and that's the way you will learn more things. I'm going to stop this video for now. We will join again in the next session, which continues with lists. Thank you. Use the comments for any questions you have.